Hey traders and investors, it is Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth for another daily market recap. It is Wednesday, December 30th, and in today's video we're going to discuss the potential of the Senate being controlled by the Democrats. So we'll talk about whether or not Democrats will win that Senate majority in the upcoming Georgia runoffs next week. And we'll look into some news and events on the day and some overall charting for the broader market. We'll check into the crypto and the cannabis space, and we'll just take a look at the overall setups going into the end of the week and into next. So before we jump into the content, make sure to smash the like. It shows me some support, and if you could subscribe to the channel, we would appreciate that as well. So we'll go through some news and events. First on the list, we had some news that Oxford's AstraZeneca cure is approved by UK regulator. So shares were up big today in pre-market, one of the notable movers. Also, UK imposes tougher restrictions on millions of people as cases continue to soar. So the UK government has introduced stricter restrictions for millions of people and cases continue to rise. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said more regions would be placed in the toughest tier 4 category. So expect more restrictions potentially from other areas as well. Taking a look here at a CNN article, if we can minimize all these ads, but stimulus payments to Americans are on the way, government says. So if you are in America, you can probably expect a check at some point in the near future, in the coming days. So we also had pending home sales fell below estimates, and crude oil inventories came in at a beat. So that was pretty much it for economic data. We saw that Biden is campaigning in Atlanta on the eve of the Georgia Senate runoffs as well, in order to try and create a little bit more awareness and obviously sway those voters. And we see here FX Hedge tweeting out that Fox News has reported that Georgia's polls show a steep drop in Republican support after $2,000 checks declined by Senate Democrat candidates now in the lead, as per Fox News. So as you can see, a lot of people and Americans were not impressed that Mitch McConnell, the Senate, which is Republican controlled, and Mitch McConnell rejecting those that $2,000 bid to send out stimulus checks for $2,000 rather than $600. So obviously people are not very happy about that, and the Democrats are standing to benefit from that. And moving on, strong early vote turnout gives Dems hope in Georgia runoffs. So Democrats are encouraged by stats that show their voters are overperforming, with early voting set to conclude later this week. Early vote numbers show black voters making up a large percentage of the electorate than in November, and higher early turnout in Democratic congressional districts in the state, both of which are positive signs for Democratic candidates. Yada, yada, yada. Early voting in Georgia Senate runoffs is breaking records. Woo! And Democrats have reasons for hope in the numbers. So if you're a marijuana trader, obviously this is going to, get you excited. Or if you're in the solar sector, obviously a Democratic sweep of the Senate, the House, and the White House, and so the more they have in control, the better, right? So this is what we want to see if we're bulls in the solar space or the cannabis space. So in my opinion, this is going to be a very important week coming up. More than 2.3 million people have voted as of Tuesday morning through mail-in ballots or in-person early voting for 2 races, already topping the record for most votes in Georgia runoff election history. So you can take a look at this article in its entirety if you want to read more about that. It's pretty lengthy, so I'm not going to read the entire thing. So moving on, touch a little bit on some crypto news here. So first court date set in landmark case pitting SEC against Ripple Labs. So we're seeing a case essentially against the 2 creators, and that is Chief Executive Officer Brad Garlinghouse and co-founder Chris Larson. So basically, we'll just read through this. It's kind of interesting here. So and I did a video on this. You can check out my video yesterday from Ripple, basically why it was up, but they came out with a statement saying that they're willing and ready to work with the SEC's new leadership, but the proceeding will be held remotely via telephone. Pretrial conferences are typically designed to help judges organize a case and create a timeline. The SEC says Ripple has illegally sold XRP as an unregistered security from 2013 until now. Its case also names Ripple Chief Executive Officer Brad Garlinghouse blah, blah, blah. I already read that. As noted, the Supreme Court made clear in its Howey decision of 1946 that the definition of whether an instrument is an investment contract and therefore a security is a flexible rather than a static principle. One of that is capable of adaptation to meet the countless and variable schemes devised by those who seek to use the money of others with the promise of profits. So, interesting article. Then we saw that Cardano founder says XRP is not a security, but there is a catch. So what did Charles Hoskinson mean by that? Essentially, the CEO of IOHK said XRP remains clean. As of today, it is in its current form from the SEC, despite troubles mounting for Ripple, its issuing company. So this is the controversial past. In an Ask Me Anything session on YouTube last week, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson spoke about ADA, upcoming Cardano developments, and also the alleged sales security by Ripple in San Francisco. Earlier this month, the SEC launched a lawsuit against Ripple and its two co-founders, Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson. The watchdog alleged the duo had profited over $700 million from the illegal sale of XRP, apart from other major legal breaches. But despite the SEC calling XRP a security, Hoskinson is convinced, he said in the AMA, I don't think XRP is a security, and I think it's in its current form and its current use of the level of decentralization and ecosystem it has, that's certainly true. However, the Cardano founder added Ripple was Ripple a security at some point during its life, ? I'm sure a fair argument could be made. So there was certainly security-like behavior, and it's deeply puzzling to me, for example, in the age of smart contracts, why an actual real company would be responsible for the distribution of a token. Now that makes no sense. You don't have to do that when you have an already existing functioning network. So some good points. Ripple we will address these unproven allegations. So basically Ripple's saying that XRP is completely separate from Ripple, and if people are buying XRP, they thought that they might have been buying Ripple. That's not the case. I don't think most people believe that either, but I do agree with Charles there that at one point maybe, but in its current form, I don't think so. And I think this will probably result in just a slap on the wrist for XRP and Ripple. So taking a look at another article here. So Coinbase sued over illegal XRP sales. So we're seeing more FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt regarding this topic. And San Francisco, so Coinbase is going to be suspending XRP on January 19th. And that news came out. I covered that in my video yesterday. But essentially, maybe they were doing it in anticipation of this as well. But San Francisco-based Coinbase has been hit with a class action lawsuit over receiving commissions from illicit XRP sales. So timing of this lawsuit is notable since the 8 billion exchange is on the verge of its landmark initial public offering, slated for 2021. So yeah, this is definitely going to add some interesting roadblocks to that IPO. We'll see if that delays it. Personally, I don't think it will. Like I said, I could probably see this just being a slap on the wrist or even the case getting dropped. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. Is Coinbase IPO going to get delayed? Is Coinbase in trouble? Is XRP in trouble? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you. So with that, we'll take a look at the broader market. Then we'll look into the marijuana sector and what I think is in the works for the Senate runoff next week and what we can expect going into tomorrow and into next week. So before we jump into some individual charts in the broader sector, we'll take a look at the crypto sector. So you can see Bitcoin is hitting all-time highs, set a new all-time high today. So congrats to the bulls there. 15-minute uptrend, been in a clear 15-minute uptrend since the lows, which was all the way down here around 27,000. And bulls in full control. Ethereum essentially sideways here and range bound between the range here around 759 and 745. So we'll see which way it breaks out of that range. XRP still selling off. So with Bitcoin reaching all-time highs, likely can thank XRP for that. A lot of funds rotating out of XRP into Ethereum, into Bitcoin, and market cap not really dropping in terms of overall crypto market cap, and it's going up. So since XRP's market cap is going down, one would only think that it's rotating. So personally, I had some buy orders in for XRP. I did enter, I mentioned a trade that I had yesterday. I did enter at 17 cents, 18 cents, and 19 cents. I was going to enter for a scaling position for a longer term hold, but then we shot up about 40%, and I decided, well, there goes that plan. I have to sell now because I didn't anticipate a 40% bounce in a matter of minutes, but that was after that upbeat article came out about Ripple, and I sold and I rebought a little bit at 20 cents, just under 20 cents on the loss of that. So around 19,000, I think it was 19 cents, 19 and a half cents, just under 20 cents. And I will add more at 17, more at 15, more at 12, more at 10. And I'll definitely be adding up if we drop below 10, and that will be a no touch position that I'll be holding for the long term. It'll be a YOLO play, so won't be anything more than 0.5% of my entire net worth. So I'm completely okay if it goes to zero, but personally, I think it's a little fishy what's going on here, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting. So Bitcoin all-time highs today, new all-time high on Coinbase of $29,018. So that is the most important resistance rate here, currently trading at 28,844. And you can see here that we did have a daily bull flag that's confirming with the daily higher low into a new higher high. So that's pretty much where we stand, but we need to lose the 4-hour uptrend to see any real consolidation. And you can see here we have a new higher low established at $27,311 on the 4-hour, and a perfect bounce off EMA 12 support. And held EMA 26, broke back above, back tested EMA 12, confirmed support, and broke to new higher highs. And that was an absolute fantastic entry off that 4-hour higher low right here. And if we zoom in, you could have looked at the 15-minute trend change. So if we look here, we lost it, we broke down, and then as soon as we changed that trend, so we had the low at 27,311, the high at 28,051, higher low at 27,564. And once we broke 28,051, that confirmed the 15-minute uptrend. If you entered on the break of 28,051, you'd be up about 3.5%. So again, when we're looking for 4-hour higher lows and a potential of a daily bull flag, you want to enter on a potential 15-minute trend change, which once we confirm the 15-minute uptrend, that usually indicates that the 4-hour higher low is set. So once we change that 15-minute uptrend, we would have zoomed out to the 4-hour and said, okay, that's our new hourly higher low. We also bounced off EMA 12, and that was a clear new support level. Set your stop under that level. And now you're sitting pretty into blue sky breakout and all-time highs. So congrats to the bulls. That was the bull play today. Other than that, bulls are just scouting. I wouldn't really be shorting anything up here at this point. The dollar remains weak as well. So we'll take a look at the broader sector, but you can see here we had that daily bear flag that confirmed on the dollar, and we did bounce quite a bit there, about almost 1.5%, which is a lot for the dollar bulls. But again, in these videos that I've been covering for a while now, we said zoom out to the monthly, and it's a monthly bear flag still at this point. And if we take the measured move of this bear flag, just a rough idea, you'd be looking down here at around 83. So, and that's just very, very rough estimate. But we did have the monthly bear cross of EMA 12 and 26, and the monthly bear flag confirming and seeing follow through. And the daily bear flag confirmed. We needed to change. So on this bounce from 89 to 91, a lot of people may have exited crypto or stocks saying, you know, the daily oversold bounce is underway. You could also say that we're forming some bullish RSI divergence with the RSI forming higher lows and higher highs while the price is breaking down here on the daily chart. You could also be scouting a falling wedge type pattern. See if I can draw that out clear here for you guys. More of a channel, I guess. So you could be watching that channel. Not really a falling wedge, I guess, at this point. Just draw it back here a little bit. I guess you could call that a falling wedge. If you ignore that little bit of a dip there, but essentially not seeing a whole lot of follow through on those new lows. But we are setting new lows, and like I said, on that daily time frame, we needed to see just get rid of those lines. We needed to see the daily trend change to be confident, and bulls proved nothing. So that bounce was impressive, but we topped out, didn't even close above EMA 12 and stay there. Didn't even fully get to test EMA 26 and lost 89.73 support. So we needed to form a higher low compared to 89.73 and then break 91.01 to confirm a daily uptrend and to be confident that this bounce had any momentum whatsoever. And sure enough, just a pump and dump and broke right into new lows. So obviously very good for the crypto, the metals and stocks and the overall broader market. So that's where we stand on the dollar. Just take a look at IWM. So up over 1% today, trying to bounce and form a base of support here off EMA 12. And daily higher lows. Did we change the hourly trend? That's going to be the topic for most names today. See here, we haven't changed the hourly trend. We could see a potential hourly EMA bull cross. So we are trying to form a hourly bear or bull flag at this point. If we break 197.47, then we confirm an hourly trend change in the daily higher low is set. Taking a look at SMH, the semiconductor sector up almost 2% today. Again, back over EMA 12, held EMA 26 on the daily. We were consolidating on the daily time frame, taking a look at the hourly chart. So you can see here we have the low, the high, haven't changed that hourly trend. So we need to change that hourly trend again with a higher low, and we could be setting that hourly higher low here now with a bull flag set up. So we'll continue to monitor this going into tomorrow. And taking a look at SPY on the daily time frame. So we have a daily inside bar on watch. So resistance at 374, support at 370.83. So we'll be watching that range going into tomorrow, and no real consolidation starting yet on the daily on SPY. We didn't lose the low of yesterday, which was 370.83. So we held that. Obviously bullish. We had a lot of bull volume come in toward the end of the day there as well. But if we zoom in, you can see here, it looks like a little bit of it was sell volume. Actually, yeah, most of it was sell volume, but some huge volatility there into the end of the day as well. Lower high, higher low. So into the end of the day, we were in a 15-minute down or a 5-minute downtrend. Bulls had a low, high, higher, low, higher, high into a 5-minute uptrend, but lost the uptrend here after hours. And taking a look at the 15-minute chart. So we were in a 15-minute downtrend as well into the end of the day. So 4-hour consolidation underway, but all about the daily inside bar going into tomorrow, in my opinion. QQQ daily inside bar on watch as well. So pretty much the same deal. Closed flat on the day. TAN solar sector ETF up 3% today. So it looks like daily consolidation might be finished for the time being. We did break out of a daily inside bar today, but taking a look at the hourly chart here, did we change the hourly trend? We had a low, high. No, we did not. We need to change that hourly trend here now. So a test of these EMAs and a blast off from there could potentially do it. So need to get over 103.10. If we can get over 103.10, we change the hourly trend and confirm an uptrend. Also saw a bullish cross of the EMA 12s there. US oil up about 0.5%. Not really much to report there. We did have a daily inside bar bull break, and we tested EMA 12 there again on the daily. But we need to change the 4-hour trend back to the bulls. We did lose the 4-hour uptrend, and low, high, higher low, higher high, lost it though. Need to change the 4-hour trend back to the bulls to be confident that that daily higher low is now established. Did we actually break the low? We did. Didn't really see much consolidation here though. So EMA 12 on the daily is going to be the most support on US oil in my opinion. Silver up over 1.5%, gold up almost 1% today. Inside bars that broke bullish. So we'll see if we can get continuation into tomorrow, but No red flags there whatsoever. XBI topping out at EMA 12 there on the daily inside bar on watch into tomorrow. And again, need to change those hourly trends to be confident. So we have the low at 140.82, high at 145.48. Need to form a hourly higher low compared to 140.82, and then break 145.48. That will confirm an hourly uptrend, and the daily higher low is set. So the more sectors that change their hourly trends, the better, and the more confident bulls are. So we had a inside bar bull break on the home builder ETF today, it looks like. Actually, no, we didn't. We topped out right at the high of yesterday, so inside bar is still on watch tomorrow and tightening range. Again, need to change the hourly trend. XLE energy sector up over 1.5% today, topping out at EMA 12 on the daily. So clear resistance to be getting over at this point, which is at 38.51. And let's take a look at the financial sector. It was up about 0.5% today. So again, another daily inside bar on watch. And we were in an hourly downtrend, still haven't changed that hourly trend. So most important going into tomorrow is going to be those hourly trend changes. XLV healthcare broke the high of yesterday, or sorry, this is the hourly chart. Taking a look at the daily, we did break the high of yesterday. So daily bounce still underway. This is all coming from the lows here of 109.37. So we haven't consolidated since December 21st on the healthcare sector. So once we do break the low of the previous candle, daily consolidation be underway, and then we can look to potential EMA 12 and EMA 26 as a potential bounce point. But anything above 109.37 will just be a daily higher low as bulls look to maintain this momentum and strong move. So that's where we stand in terms of the broader market. So we'll look at some individual analysis, and we'll look at the cannabis sector. And like I said, what I expect for the Senate runoff next week and in terms of charting. So just take a look at Tesla here on the daily. Saw a huge V-shaped recovery there into the end of the day, but we could see here that we did have very brief daily consolidation. It ended up being a daily bull flag and into a new higher high. 696 was the high of the day, 696.60. So that is a new all-time high record. Is that a record close? 695, no it is not. Closed just below the record close at 695. So that's notable. So congrats to the Tesla bulls. Just seems like this gain train will never end, but it definitely will. There's going to come a time where we run out of buyers, and there's going to come a time where the tables have turned. But no signs of that happening yet. So on the bear side, we had CWeb, DFLY, NEXE, Facebook down over 1.5%. BlackBerry, oh, this is a name I feel bad for a lot of people on. I told a lot of people in the group online, I said, look out for this potential. I said the news was great, the Amazon news was great, but coming off the lows here, we had no support from all the way down at 460. And we had the low here at 437, the high, higher low, higher high. So we did confirm a weekly trend change, but we had no weekly higher low from that move from the Amazon news from all the way down around 460. So we could have easily dropped 53% and still be in a weekly uptrend. And a lot of people were buying it at $8, $7 and thinking that was the bottom. And I guess if you were looking to enter on a weekly bull flag potential, but once we lost the 0.382 fib, which would have been around here, so 760s, you would have been out, right? And then you would have been wrong, but you would have been able to reload about 10, 12% cheaper. But we also haven't tested EMA 12 yet, and we have a lower high every candle on the weekly for the last 4 weeks. So we need to break that pattern of a lower high every candle on the weekly time frame to be confident that the weekly bounce is underway. But should be a nice bounce, and this is favoring an equilibrium type pattern at this point. So probably something like this and tightening range, and either a break to the upside or a break to the downside after this equilibrium. But based on the size of this pullback, probably just going to expect a daily lower high or a weekly lower high compared to 969 on any bounce. But anything above 445 is a weekly high or low. So that's where we stand on BlackBerry. Riot up almost 10% today. Wow, up over $17. I remember when this was at 50 cents back in March. So about 35x your money. 35,000%. Crazy. JMIA also up big today, 6%. DDD up over 5%. JMIA is another story in itself. Taking a look at the daily time frame, take a look at this from 40 all the way down to 24 based on that. And a lot of people were wondering, you know, is this stock going to zero? What's going on? Why is it crashing? Again, it ran all the way from 1170. It ran 260%, over 260%. So it could have easily fell 70% and still be just looking in, it's still in a daily uptrend, just looking for a daily higher low. And look where we bounced right off EMA 26. And from that low, we are now up over 100%. Absolute crazy, crazy, crazy bulls just foaming at the mouth to buy the dip on JMIA. So congrats to the bulls there. Huge, huge moves, big time reward, big time risk, big time reward. That's the name of the game. So that's where we stand. Apple was down almost 1% today. That's pretty much it in terms of individual tickers. So we'll move on to the cannabis space. So personally, I think we did break the high of yesterday on CGC. So once we broke 25.44, we were confident that the daily bounce was underway, but we did close below the high of yesterday, which is a little concerning. So 25.44 was the high of yesterday, closed at 25.25. We do have EMA 12 potentially crossing bearish through EMA 26 here as well, but we are topping out at the EMAs. So that's a little bit of a red flag. But at this point, we need to change those hourly trends to be confident that the daily high or lows are set. And if we zoom out, take off extended hours, so the low of 24.09, you can see that this move is coming right off the lows. So we need to form an hourly high or low tomorrow compared to 24.09. So if you're a bull, maybe you haven't entered, maybe you're waiting for an hourly high or low with a stop below 24.09, looking to nail those daily higher lows and maybe even nail the weekly higher lows. So again, I said from the low in these videos, if you've tuned in, if you're not subscribed, I consider that you do, because I've been highlighting for a long time since 1383. Since that level, we've run over 100% on CGC, and we didn't form a weekly high or low that entire time. So again, when something runs over 100% and doesn't have any support on the weekly, and we can drop that much of a percent and still be in weekly uptrends, you need to be careful. And when we had this inside bar here that broke bearish, that was the signal to bail. And now we're anticipating a weekly higher low. And we could potentially still be looking at a weekly bull flag. So as long as we maintain above $23, this could still be a weekly bull flag. We need to break the high of 29.52 to confirm the weekly bull flag and see follow through. But if we convincingly break 29.52, then we'll be confident that the weekly bull flag is confirmed. And look where we're bouncing right off EMA 12 here on the weekly. If it were me, and I was looking to, if I was a bull and I was looking to get into cannabis and CGC was one of my top picks, I would be scaling in. I would have potentially scaled in on these consolidations in multiple orders. So you could have said, okay, I'll scale in once we break the high of, I'll scale in at EMA 12, or I'll scale in another order at EMA 26. Or I will, like I said, scale in when we change the daily trend. So if we change the daily trend, or if we change the hourly trend, for example. So again, if we set a higher low, maybe you are a little bit of an aggressive bull and you want to enter on an hourly trend change to try and nail the daily higher lows. Or maybe you're a patient bull and you want to wait for the daily trend change. All valid ways to do it, but you need to validate your trade situation, and everybody's different. But personally, in my trade strategy, I would look to be nailing these weekly higher lows So I'd be scaling in here and looking to get follow through from a potential weekly bull flag, nail those higher lows, which we haven't had weekly consolidation from all the way back in September. So if we do, you could set your stop under EMA 12 with an entry on there. If we get stopped out, then maybe look to re-enter on EMA 26 with a stop below there. Or maybe you just allow a little bit more risk. You enter on a test of EMA 12 and stop below EMA 26. So there's multiple ways you could do it. But personally, I'd be loading up. I've already started loading up on these weekly higher lows. And with the Senate results coming out less than a week, so we have one more trading day today, or sorry, tomorrow, and then closed Friday, another trading day on Monday, and then on Tuesday. So we have essentially 3 trading days until the Senate runoff elections in Georgia, and we should have a better idea of who's going to control the Senate. So if Democrats do indeed, they're in the lead right now, if they do indeed come out ahead, then like I said, this would line up well for a weekly higher low. So let me know in the comments below whether or not you think that this is the weekly higher low on Canopy. Do you think this weekly bull flag is going to play out? Love to hear from you and just get an overall feel of sentiment of what everybody's thinking. But we're in a monthly uptrend. First time since the all-time highs. On the weekly chart, like I said, we're in a weekly uptrend. We're just looking for those weekly higher lows. And that would line up well next week with a potential short squeeze. So the more we pull back here on Canopy and in the Canadian MJ sector specifically, but the more MJ stocks in as a whole, this would remain true for all MJ stocks. But as long as they keep pulling back, or if they keep pulling back, the more that they pull back, the more confident that we are that the bounce is going to be extreme. So if we pull back to say EMA 26 going into tomorrow or into Monday, and then Tuesday we come out with some bullish numbers or some bullish results from the Democrats, obviously the talking heads and the headlines are going to be pumping that they won and that the majority of the Senate is now going to be in their hands, in the House, yada, yada, yada. So you can bet there'd be a lot of FOMO. There'd be people looking to buy weekly higher lows. There'd be people looking to cover their shorts because of the news with the Senate or potential profit taking just from the highs here, and just people looking to get out on potential weekly bull flags. Again, there's so many different scenarios that could basically add fuel to the fire, and why I think that this could squeeze very, very hard. And like I said, if we pull back to EMA 26, we get really extreme. Ideally, we want to see it daily oversold. We haven't got to daily oversold, but if we did lose, though, if we did get that bearish cross through EMA 26 and 20 and 12 on the daily time frame, we do test EMA 26 here on the weekly, that would put us pretty much daily oversold, or if not very, very close. And like I said, if there's any positive momentum and results from the Senate runoff in Georgia on the 5th, on Tuesday, that could line up well, and a huge bounce and short squeeze could come as a result. But let's just take a look at this weekly bull flag here. So we'll just do a rough estimate of what we could expect. So if this bull flag were to play out, just a rough estimate here, we could anticipate a move to the $40 level from these levels. And it's very, very bullish. If we take a look at CGC on the weekly, we are trying to save the 10-week moving average, which is at 25.16. As long as we close the week above the 10-week moving average, that's going to be bullish in my opinion. We do have the MACD looking to potentially cross bearish. The stochastic has already crossed bearish, so one indicator is bearish out of the 3. MACD is still bullish, but very, very, very close to turning bearish here. And like I said, the 10-week moving average, we did dip below, but we are looking to potentially set that weekly higher low and bull flag, and a close above 25.16 to end tomorrow would be very, very bullish. And obviously if the stochastic would cross bullish again, and as long as the MACD stays that way, we should be smooth sailing. And on the moving averages, we did touch the 200 weekly moving average, which is exactly $24. So that's where we bounced, where we pulled back, and that was a nice potential entry as well for that weekly bull flag. Lines up perfectly right around that level of a weekly bull flag. So is that a coincidence? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I personally don't think so. But like I said, we're in a monthly uptrend, so this weekly bull flag could bring us to the $40 range, which we don't have any real resistance here on the weekly time frame up until that level. So I could see it. We also had some support over here at the $40 level here before this big landslide. So a lot of confluence in that level. Looking at the daily chart, we bounced off the 50 DMA, so the daily moving average as well, 24.27. We did dip below it. So again, another strong clue to potentially be looking to nail these weekly higher lows. We're at the weekly 200 moving average where we bounced, and the 50-day moving average, and back above the 10-week moving average. So everything's looking good in terms of a potential weekly bottom here and a temporary bottom being set. Not calling it out, not saying it's in for now, but it's certainly looking that way. So need to change those hourly trends going into tomorrow to be confident all about the hourly trend change. Ideally, bulls would want to see a pullback and a test of EMA 12, have an hourly bull flag and break the high of 25.69 and confirm that hourly uptrend and confirm that the daily higher low is set. So that's where we stand. Taking a look, ACB Aurora was up 4.5% today. Did it change the hourly trend? Yes, it did. Currently in an hourly uptrend. So the more names that change their hourly trends, the better. We want to see more names changing their hourly trends to see the whole sector gaining momentum. Afria straight off the lows at 665. We did essentially double bottom there at 666, but we didn't really get a bounce underway here. So this is all coming off of the lows essentially, in my opinion. So did we change the hourly trend on Afria? No, we did not. We are consolidating here now. We could see a potential hourly bull cross of EMA 12 and 26 and an hourly bull flag. We break above 718. That's going to confirm the hourly bull flag and the hourly trend change in the daily high or low. So Canopy up over 4%, Cron up 1.69%, Hexo closed up 1.3%. So again, weekly, trying to nail those weekly higher lows off EMA 12 and 26 periods. Did it change the hourly trend? No, it did not. So from the lows of 369, say we had a little mini higher low there, but not enough of a clear pivot point, in my opinion. Could be potentially an hourly bull flag as well. So we'll continue to monitor that into tomorrow. Tilray was up over 5% today. Still hasn't, basically the same chart as APHA. Still hasn't changed the hourly trend, but seeing a bull cross here of the EMAs and a potential hourly bull flag if we do consolidate into tomorrow. And if we do bounce off EMA 12s, we'll look to resistance at 876. We break that, we confirm an hourly uptrend and the daily higher low is set. So that's pretty much where we stand. So I do expect Canadian MJ to benefit from any positive Democrat news on Tuesday. Obviously, there is a lot more dollars traded on the NYSE and the NASDAQ in major tickers like Canopy and Afria and Tilray. So I think that with Canopy having operations in the US, Tilray and Afria merging and focusing on the US, we have Hexo with Molson Coors partnership. Obviously, those are going to benefit from that and potential federal level easing the laws and potentially heading toward legalization. So I think Canadian stocks will benefit from it. US stocks potentially could be a sell the news event. I don't anticipate a sell the news. It's just been a slow and steady grind for Trulieve and most of the MSOs. But you can see here we did have a daily higher low and the daily bounce is still underway. We do have a daily inside bar here on Trulieve. So we'll be watching that tightening range and whatever way that breaks. We do have EMA 12 there. That's been acting as support for quite a while, all the way back here in November 23rd. So that's a clear support level to be watching as well. That'll be a significant momentum shift. And we have resistance at 42.30. So just be on the lookout of a potential daily lower high here as well. If we do break this inside bar bearish, we'll be looking to support at 40.19. If we lose 40.19, that confirms a daily downtrend and increases the odds of a sell the news event going into Tuesday. But that's pretty much where we stand. BAM was up over 50 cents today, up about 8%. So taking a look at the losers, TAT was down over 5%, CXXI down over 3%, Acreage down over 5%. On the bull list, we had BioHarvest up over 12%, KBEV up over 11%, BAM, KHRN. So I did this in my video yesterday, up over 8%, essentially seeing some momentum from the Mexican legalization, Mexico making strides to legalize. So that's pretty much where we stand. Cura finished down over 1.5%, GTII down about 1.5% as well. CL closed down a little over 1%. So Trulieve managed to close green and basically just above flat. So again, I personally think that there's more opportunity in the Canadian LPs at the moment. Obviously, Canadian LPs have been weaker for the last few days, while US MJ has been stronger. So personally, I think rotating out of US into Canadian MJ right now might not be a bad idea, or at least trimming and potentially fend off those daily lower highs and potential of lower lows into a daily downtrend. That's just me. And then potentially look to re-add around a EMA 26 test on Trulieve. Just take a look at Curaleaf as well, just to get another idea. So it is testing its EMA 26 support on the daily. So that could be a little bit of a foreshadowing event into Trulieve. So if Curaleaf's doing it, GTII hasn't done it yet. Trulieve hasn't tested EMA 12 yet either. CL going to test it there as well. So CL and Cura on the verge. The more MSOs, the more leading MSOs that start to consolidate, continue daily consolidation and test those EMA 12s and 26 periods, the more that it's going to likely reign true for other MSOs as well. So that's pretty much where we stand in terms of MJ. Again, let me know in the comments below what you think the Senate results are going to be. Do you think that they're going to win the majority? And let me know what tickers you're interested in. If there's anything you want covered, let me know what you're holding into the runoffs and what you think has the most upside potential, whether it be Canadian MJ, US MJ. Just love to hear what everybody has to think. So hope everyone has a great day and evening and wherever you are, and we'll see you tomorrow for another daily market recap. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and take care.